All right. Well, we also had some fun stuff that happened over the weekend. It is one of my favorite times of the year, and that is the NFL draft. Man, we're gonna move on from the NBA hardcore over to the gridiron. Man, and we had a major thing happen for it. It's the
Yeah,
NFL
we did.
draft. And everybody loves talking about this one, and so we kind of wanted to go over what we thought, what your predictions were as far as were you right, were you wrong, who reached, all that good stuff right there. Mr. G, Mike, I know your Cowboys had some picks. What's your thoughts on how the Cowboys did, and what's a team that you liked and didn't like?
Well, I loved what we did in selecting Caleb Downs. I mean, that was a great pickup right there. I was actually, me and BC had talked about it there. I thought Caleb Downs was going to go to us, and if he was there, we were going to select him. Great run stopper. He's great on the pass defending as well. He's a ball hawk, but he can be an outside linebacker where he stops the run when it gets to the outside. He looks like a great leader on defense when it comes to Ohio State and Alabama, where he used to play at. I mean, dude, I think it's going to be phenomenal for us. I think he's going to start right out the gate. I don't think there's going to be any, let's ease him in there and stuff like that. No, I think he's going to start from week one preseason, week one regular season, and I think he's going to show the ropes when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. He's going to bring that energy and tenacity and intensity that we need right now because, man, we're looking scarce. But just like looking at the top 10, man, Fernando Mendoza, I think we all knew that he was going there, number one. Having him learn under Kirk Cousins, I think is going to be a good thing. Number two actually surprised me, David Bailey, the edge going to the Jets. I didn't think that he was going to go that early. If anything, I thought Reese was going to go to the Jets, but I guess they saw something that they didn't like, and they're like, you know what, we're going to go with Bailey. Jeremiah Love was another one that I was very surprised that he was going to the Arizona Cardinals. I thought he was going to fall to Washington. I thought Washington was going to grab him. I think Cardinal Tate for the Titans was pretty good. Cam Ward gets his wide receiver one. Reese is also a great edge. I just didn't. I thought he was going to go first to the Jets, but he went to the Giants, the other side of New York. It's going to be great defensive front line for them for sure. Kansas City Chiefs. Wow. Trading up for the sixth pick to get Delane out of LSU. The corner, the best corner in this draft, was very surprising to me. But an awesome move after Trent McDuffie went to the LA Rams. They filled that void right there, and this guy's going to shine right out the gate. Washington Commanders, Sonny Styles. I think he's a great linebacker as well. Great run stopper, and he can play the pass. I think it was good for them, too, where they had a weak defense. Jordan Tyson, he's gonna do his thing over there in the Saints. That one was kind of on the fence, surprising to me because it's like, what are they gonna do with Chris Olave if they're gonna have this guy wide receiver one? Are they gonna try and trade him? Like there was a lot of trade rumors for Chris Olave to get traded, so maybe they use him as trade bait, try to get some picks or some other players in return. And then with the last two offensive tackles to two teams that actually need offensive linemen, I think we're good picks for the Cleveland Browns and the Giants with their second pick in the top 10.
Yeah, it's the Browns did really well. It's kind of ironic to say they've done really well the last 2 years. So they had some nice picks there. And I think you're right about your Cowboys. BC, my man, how did you feel about your Bucks? How did you feel about this draft? Anybody that you wanted to talk more about? You thought was a stretch or anything?
So I love the pick that we got in the first round, getting Ruben Bain Jr. I did not expect him to make it to us. That's why I picked Mesidor. But, like, getting Ruben Bain, like, that, gosh, that's big for us. Like, I know, obviously, there was some stuff. Like, the more I've researched into him, the more I've researched into a lot of the issues that I thought were issues. Like, some of the off-field stuff weren't necessarily as bad as, like, I was thinking they were. Looks like a lot of that stuff has been kind of water under the bridge. Like, it's been dealt with. But, man, from a football aspect, the dude is a monster. And if you saw, like, his reaction when he got drafted by us, like, I don't think he's upset. He wasn't upset that he got drafted by us. He was upset that he fell that low. And you saw that man stone-faced, walked out there, didn't pick up the hat and smile and stuff. He just grabbed it, left. Probably the hardest dap I've ever seen. Or I saw the draft, like, all night. Like, that man is motivated and pissed off to prove a point. Like, I think he wants every single team that passed on him to regret that decision. I love it. Like, like I said, I was going for Mesidor. So, dude, G Mike, your boy's into you, man. Like, heck yeah, you guys, and not just him. We got Keontae Scott too in the fourth round. That was a steal, I think. I'm surprised he
UN,
fell that
baby.
low. Like, I like those two. Like those two guys right there. That intensity, that demeanor, that nastiness that they bring to it is going to really help put some juice in this defense. And a defense, honestly, that needs a little kick in the pants because they looked pretty soft last year. So I like the idea of getting Bane and Keontae to kind of push the edges and to push the secondary there a little bit and get them a lot tougher up front. That's what they need. Some other picks they had, like I liked getting Ted Hurst from Georgia State. He's a big bodied receiver, gives Baker another guy, can be like not exactly Mike Evans, but somewhat close to that. But again, it just gives you more of an insurance policy for the receiver room. You got some depth there with Billy Schroth along the offensive line. DeMonte Capehart for the D line, some depth from Clemson. I was not the biggest fan of getting Bauer Sharp, the tight end, like trading up to get him. I thought that there were so many other candidates that they could have selected that were better. And also, I felt like we're going to my first reach. I think Josiah Trotter out of Missouri was a bit of a reach because, yes, Miami Dolphins came in and took my boy, Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech. I was sad. I was bitter. But CJ Allen was still on the board from Georgia. Jake Golday from Cincinnati was still on the board. I thought those guys, yes, I know he comes from an NFL pedigree, but I was not as impressed with his tape compared to the other linebackers. I hope he proves me wrong, but I thought he was a bit of a reach there. I was going to say some other reaches though too. Arizona, I know Jeremiah Love is the best back,
Thank you. I was about to say that. Right.
yeah, I thought that was a bit of a reach. Carnell Tate for Tennessee at 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I was like, okay, we're letting Sonny Styles go to Washington. That's lovely. And also Ty Simpson for LA. Like Matt Stafford only has a handful of years left. I get it. You want to prep for the future, but next year's quarterback class is supposed to be so much better in terms of depth. Why did you guys trade up and get this pick? Like I don't understand that. Like he probably still would have been there at the end of the round where they were drafting at or towards the end. So I thought those were a bit of reaches, but as far as great picks, like I said, Washington getting Sonny Styles,
Yep.
steal right there for them.
Deal, big time.
Like you said, Cowboys getting Caleb Downs, and then if I'm not mistaken, oh no, you guys traded. That was the funny thing, you guys I think had traded. Oh no, you
Please,
guys traded back.
please don't do it. Please don't do it. Please.
What? I'm just saying, you actually played nice with your division rival.
Oh, bro, you
Yeah.
Dude,
can't.
good for
Bro,
you
it's an
guys, man.
unwritten rule, just like the
Look,
unwritten rule of you can't score
hey,
NBA bucket at the end of the game when the clock
wait,
is gonna run out. That's
whoa,
an unwritten rule right
hey,
there. Do
man.
not trade with your rivals.
Way to show more brotherly love than Philadelphia actually has. Good on you guys. I'm
And
proud.
we
I'm proud
gave
of you,
him
G
a
Mike.
top freaking receiver, man.
But hey, you got Malachi Lawrence from UCF. I'm sure that's going to
We
work
could
out.
have gotten Mesidor. That's why it pisses me off because we would have been at 20. We could have gotten Mesidor.
Oh well, man, that's the way it goes. But that aside, I had to throw a little bit of shade there. Caleb Banks to Minnesota, bit of a reach, I think. Great talent. I think that there probably were better tackles at the time, but like G. Mike alluded to, Kansas City, their first 3 picks, cornerback, the best cornerback in the draft. You have probably, I would say, probably the best or the second best interior defensive lineman in Peter Woods at the end of the round. And then also, too, getting R. Mason Thomas, a top 4 or 5 pass rusher in this draft, too. Like, that was steal, like home runs for Kansas City with their first 3 picks. And then, of course, again, I'm going to double down on it because I think he's going to be the defensive rookie of the year. Jacob Rodriguez out going to Miami. Like, great pick for them. I'm calling this is the spoiler for our award predictions in the next like 3 or 4 months right now. Jacob Rodriguez will be defensive player of the or not defensive player, defensive rookie of the year.
Nah, Caleb Downs.
Yeah,
Just
I mean, if I had to pick, there's a couple that stood out for me.
Yeah.
And that would be Washington. I think Washington. That was probably my favorite pick. Out of the first round there was Washington getting Sonny Styles. I think Sonny Styles is going to be just an absolutely animal of a player. You can tell that he wanted to go there. Dan Quinn is one of my favorite coaches in the league, and just listening to the post game draft stuff, they were really excited that they both wanted to work together like that. He was even having that conversation, which I'm sure you've already heard. He's like, I hope to be back here in a couple of weeks. And he's like, oh, you're damn right. You're planning to be back here in a couple of weeks. And he fell to them, and which is so I think it's going to be fantastic for them. That's something Washington really needed. I liked both what both New York teams did. I think the Jets made some pretty good moves here to help out. Getting Sadiq is a good player. Cooper, I think, is going to be a good complement to Garrett Wilson. I also like what the Giants did here and getting the offensive tackle and getting Arvell Reese. I think that they did a really well with what they did in the first round with that as well. But I wanted to ask you guys a couple of things because you guys kind of, G-Mike, I'm sorry, PC, you brought it up a little bit ago. The two picks that kind of scratched my head on a little bit here was the Jeremiah Love and Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate, I don't think that is a true number one for this offense. And I think that Tennessee needs way too much to waste it on that pick. And I'm not saying that that Tate isn't either first round talent or he doesn't have talent. So I don't want to get it twisted on that. What I'm saying is that I just feel like that where they were, they could have used a lot of other guys, getting Sonny Styles or some. There are so many better players, I think, and they probably could have came back and got Tate maybe even in the second round because there was. I don't even think that he was the best wide receiver in this class, and I would have went with Tyson, even though I know he's had some injury history. And to go back with what you're saying, G. Mike, about what they're going to do with Chris Olave, I think this is a great match for Chris Olave because New Orleans has been missing a good number two ever since Shaheed was the last time they've had like even a decent number two. And I think that Tyler Shuckey is going to be actually a pretty good quarterback going forward. He can really turn it on towards the end. So I think getting one of the top tier wide receivers was a great move for them to do. So I like that pick a lot as well. I think the Cleveland really knocked it out of the park too, though. Getting the offensive lineman Infano, Casey Concepcion, I think is going to be really good, and it's just fun name to say. I like what they did in the second round. They got Boston as well, Denzel Boston. So I like what Cleveland's done in the last 2 years. Cleveland's really done well in their drafts. Whether or not they'll still be Cleveland and Cleveland it up, who knows? But their defense is something special, and I think that this year they were able to get some great offensive players to go along with that. So that was kind of holding them back a little bit. So I really liked Cleveland's draft a lot. I think Ruben Bain going to Tampa Bay was awesome. There was definitely some interesting picks to say the least. You know, that happens every year in the draft. You're kind of like, oh, okay, Ty Simpson. Now, that one is an interesting one, and a lot of people have mixed feelings about it. And you can go with the quarterback class is going to be better next year. But if you read the writing on the wall and where the Rams are set up, they're really looking like they could be Super Bowl contenders, and I'm pretty sure they are the Super Bowl favorite going into next year. So if they do exactly what they're on paper supposed to do, that means their pick isn't going to be till like the 32nd pick or so, maybe 31st pick somewhere in there, unless they have to make some moves. So maybe that's why they went ahead and saw that they can get Ty Simpson, get him now, and let him grow in the next couple of years, and get him on that rookie contract so that they can maybe extend it. That's all I can think of. I don't think that Ty Simpson it was the worst pick. I don't think it was like the Michael Penix thing where that was way too early. Ty Simpson was always pretty much on record in here saying that he was going to be like the number 2 quarterback. I didn't expect them to do that in this position here. Maybe trade back into the later in the first round. But they did pull the trigger there, and I think that they like what they saw. And you'd rather get a guy that you can build with over time. That actually has some talent, I believe, than having to just go forward to the third or 4th round because you have to make those picks. So I'm not totally against the Ty Simpson pick. It was a head scratcher a little bit, but I'm not totally against it. I can understand what they were going with on this one. G. Mike, what's your thoughts on the Ty Simpson move?
I like it a lot, man. You don't know what we're gonna see with Matthew Stafford when it comes to the injury report, right? Like he could. Don't get me wrong. He's Hall of Famer, All Pro, Super Bowl champion. He probably will be a 2-time Super Bowl champion. But you don't know how he's gonna get going through the season. You don't know if he's gonna stay healthy, right? And what you alluded to, you draft a quarterback early in the first round this time. So if Matthew Stafford does stay healthy and they do make the Super Bowl run, they get there and they win, you have Ty Simpson already learning under one of the greats. Yeah. And after all the times that we've seen in NFL history that there are backup quarterbacks that turn into starters and they turn into greats are the ones that are learning for years and years under these guys, and they turn into this all-pro. Last we saw Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers. Like, the list goes down and down. Like, I think it's a good pick. Yeah, a lot of people can't say that it was very early in the draft, for sure. But I feel like there's a writing on the wall, just like Steve said, of we know what we have right now, and we want to prepare for the future.
Yeah, I feel like it's also a pressure situation as well. You know, they still do have Stetson Bennett, who they do like, but you have that rookie contract deal, which was such a big thing, and they can also tag him for the 5th-year option if he is what they're hoping he can be. So I think it's a pretty decent move. It was a little rich for my blood for being the 13th pick, but I do understand what they were trying to do. I would have thought they would have maybe went another direction, maybe another tight end, possibly, even though we all know that they love their tight ends and they have so many to begin with. But Sadiq being out there, or even Stowers or something like that, one of those guys. But I do understand why taking Ty Simpson there, and it just alleviates the pressure, almost like Mendoza in here when signing him under Kirk Cousins. You got time to learn, and that's what you want these guys. If you guys really are wasting picks on it, you want them to learn.
Yeah, I feel like they could have addressed it. Maybe I think they could have maybe used I think he would have been available to them in the 2nd round. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree. But yeah. What would you say for them to draft? Put the draft graphic back up, Steve. Sorry. Okay, yeah, so I mean, they have everything from 14 to 32. We'll say, right? We'll keep it just the first round. Who would you rather for them to have drafted?
Honestly, you've got a few different selections. I mean, if you wanted to get edge, there's Bain there. If you wanted to get tight end, you have Sadiq. Even beefing up the offensive line and getting Ione from Penn State. Like, that could be some selections right there that they could have made that would have benefited the offense. And you talk about keeping...
No, but I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I probably didn't say it right. But a need for them, because in my opinion, a backup quarterback is a need. I don't think Stetson Bennett is that guy, and I think he's too small in my opinion. But yeah, that's just my opinion. But a need for them, what position would you say and who here?
If I was having the pick, I probably would have went Malachi Lemon. And because with Puka's got some interesting stuff going on in the offseason.
Yeah.
I don't know what's totally going on, and we don't need to get into all that until we know all the information about it. But realistically, they lost Tutu Atwell. Who is their number 2 at this point on the Rams? I mean, it could just be slipping my mind, but I can't really name anybody that's another dominant receiver they have in there. So, oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. What am I thinking here? Devontae Adams. That's right. Sorry. Yeah, I did forget about that one. Sorry. But my point is, I'm saying, though, too, is that Devontae Adams is getting up there in age as well. So, I mean, it did slip my mind. And they were also talking about possibly getting rid of him already anyways in a trade. So I probably would have took Lemon and Malachi in that spot. Just it's not too far away from actually where he actually went. And he was projected as one of the top 3 receivers. So I think that would have been a great need that the Rams could have filled in there instead of getting Ty Simpson.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, and like I said, I feel like he would be available in the 2nd round for the Rams to take, just because I don't know of too many quarterback hungry teams like right now at this point. So, but again, if I hope that it pans out for them where they're able to make that happen. I just think it's a little bit early for Ty Simpson myself.
Nah, I actually do agree with that, because like when you really look at this list, like there's no other quarterback that was taken, and obviously number 1 in the Raiders, but we're talking about after 13. There's not any other quarterback that was taken. So if he does fall to the 2nd round, which in this case he would have, you could have gone somewhere else. Where I think I agree with what BC said, to try to improve your tight end room and get Sadiq, because he's like a receiver slash tight end hype. He's very fast. He's tall. He's physical. The only thing is, I haven't seen on how he can block for the run. So I don't know if he's a good run blocker or not, but he is.
He's a pure offensive weapon. That's about it.
Yeah,
just like a pure receiving.
He's Kyle Pitts basically.
And, so to push back on that, then the Rams are not that type of team that uses tight ends to just go out there and catch the ball. They use a lot of tight ends to block for the run because of the fact that they primarily give Kyron Williams about 20 snaps a game in carrying the ball. So 20 carries. So it's like, okay, now Sadiq is out of the picture. You talk about Lemon, right? Yeah, he could be a good wide receiver 3 for sure behind Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. And then if Puka Nacua can't play for whatever reason when it comes to legal issues, he moves to the second spot, right? I just feel like, is that a necessary need right now over the backup quarterback? Like, would you say yes or no?
I don't know. I wouldn't say with my first round pick, I want to take a backup quarterback. And if anything, I'm trying to think of any other positional needs. Like, honestly, you could have taken, if you wanted to, you could have taken a defensive lineman there. You could have taken somebody to kind of beef up the interior, like with Fiske and Verse, add some more rotation, because that gives you more value, I would say, right now for that pick than getting a backup quarterback instead of waiting for the second round to get that. Like, I think you could have gotten some defensive depth, a little bit more versatility along the front, and then address backup quarterback in the second round, because I guarantee he would still be there at pick 61 for the Rams.
Yeah. The only thing I would push back on that, right?
Yeah.
pushing the push.
Dude, that's what we do, man. It's in the trenches over here, man. We in the trenches.
The only thing I would push back on that is there's so many available defensive linemen, offensive tackles, guards, receivers from year in and year out. When it comes to quarterback, it's like a diamond in the rough. Like, it's very hard to find. And you can say next year there's more quarterbacks, Dante Moore, Archie Manning, for sure. But again, that alludes to now we got Matthew Stafford's getting left out the door. Let's say they win this year. Matthew Stafford's like, yo, I'm out of there, Dougie. Peace. Yeah. Now you got to draft a quarterback, and now he's got to learn the reins and go out there and have all this pressure. Wow, you have a quarterback already that is pretty damn good. I thought he was pretty damn good at Alabama. You know, they couldn't get it done and get passed down the line to get to the national championship game. But that's a lot of variables that come with that. But when you watch his play, he's a pretty good damn quarterback. So now he has time to learn under one of the greats and get that going and learn the offense, because he's going to be with Sean McVay. Sean McVay's not going anywhere. Let's really talk about that. He's going to be there for a long time. He's young and he's very intelligent at the quarter. I don't know.
I could see McVay calling it an early career. To be honest with you, he's already flirted with maybe doing TV and getting out of it. Like that's already been a thing.
I think he loves it too much.
Retire. So I can see McVay. Yeah, I can see McVay being one of those guys though that just kind of calls it a day. You know, maybe when Stafford, because him and Stafford are pretty damn close. So maybe when Stafford's done, maybe he can be like, you know what, I'm good. I've proven what I need to prove. I'm young. You know, I got a young family and everything. But so we kind of talked about it. We didn't get totally into it. So Jeremiah Love, is this a good pick for the Cardinals? Bad pick? What G-Mike, what's your thoughts on that one, man?
I think it's a good pick because he's a great running back, and he's of run first, catch second, but he could do both great. He could block as well. He's very physical. He has a high vertical, so if he wants to, he could jump over guys, pause, and I think he could run the offense really well with what they want to do. And in my opinion, right now, what they want to do is use both running backs and have a great rushing attack, right? And they drafted Carson Beck. While Carson Beck took UM to a national championship game, he could be a good game-managing quarterback. And what's good game-managing quarterback? A great rushing attack. So I think it's a good pick for them. Now, should they have gone another round and choose someone else? Yeah, I think they should have chose someone else. They could have got Sonny Styles. They could have got Reese. They could have got Caleb Downs. They could have got Ruben Bain. Like, I don't know. Like, if you were already going for Carson Beck, you already had that on the table. you know that he was going to fall in the second round and you were going to be able to get him, or in the third round, because I think they got him in the third, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So you know that was going to fall down. So you could have gotten other pieces where your defense wasn't great, your offense was atrocious. You could have stacked up in other places, right? But again, Jeremiah Love is a good pick. He's a good running back. So I'm not mad about it. I was just surprised when it happened.
Yeah. And I will say, shout out to them for getting probably the best guard prospect in the draft, Chase Basantis from Texas A&M. Dude's like 6'4", 6'5", 330, and an absolute mauler up front. So that's a guy that you want clearing the lanes for Jeremiah Love right there. So they doubled down on the run game there, getting yourself your all-around back, pairing that with a big physical guard that can pull. That's exactly what you need. So I may disagree with the method, but hey, at least they were able to they didn't just take a bunch of random pieces. They went in there with a general strategy of what to do. And I will say, going briefly off topic for a
The only
second.
pushback I would have.
Okay. Oh, wait, I was like, all right, man, you gonna pop off? Like, okay,
Push back.
go ahead. Gonna push back? No.
Yeah, the only pushback I would have about taking Jeremiah Love is the fact that they have Trey Benson, they just signed Tyler Algier, they have James Conner still. They didn't need to get another running back out there. So, like, that's the only thing that I can understand. You're taking best player, and some people had him as their number one player in the draft, but that really wasn't a need that they needed to get. They did just get Trey Benson not too long ago. They just signed Tyler Algier, and James Conner, although constantly injured, is still a workhorse back for them. So now they're going to have that'd be 4 backs on this team. I mean, granted, you can constantly rotate them in and out, I guess. I mean, there's a new guy every time, but that just goes back to like
they're about to set the team rushing record for a single season right here. 4,000 rushing yards.
That's not gonna happen. Trey Benson had his chance last season when James Conner went down to prove himself, and he did not. He had a few good games, but that's it. He did not. So he's gonna be.
Benson got hurt though too, didn't he?
I don't know if he got hurt, but I know that the games that he had played in, he didn't do as great. I think he had one good game that I think I tried to trade him in fantasy, trying to get him going to give him to someone else, use him as trade bait. It didn't work because he only had one good game. And then Tyler Algier, he did. He had some red zone plays for sure behind Bijan Robinson and Atlanta Falcons that he did a decent job, but he's not a back that I think I would give the ball 20 times to if you're looking to rush attack, right? I think I would go with basically a generational running back. I think Jeremiah Love could be that. Again, I don't think it was the right pick. I think you could have gone somewhere else, but I don't think it was a bad pick either.
Yeah. And I will say before we, move on to our next topic or wrap it up or anything, I want to give a shout out. Like we always talk about like the best picks and the guys like in the top 10 and stuff like that. But dude, every single year we got one guy always gets drafted at the very end, the spot nobody wants to. It's been whether you're in the NFL draft, whether you're in kickball, whether you're in flag football and school, nobody wants to be picked last. So, but I want to give some love. Quick shout out. Red Murdoch, this year's Mr. Irrelevant, picks 257 going to the Denver Broncos. The NCAA all-time leader in forced fumbles is your Mr. Irrelevant this year. Shout out to that man, Mr. Red Murdoch. Let's go. Turn up.